Long story short, 2 years ago we took down these 2 trees because they had begun to rot and we didn't want them to fall down in the house. But without them, the terrace is left really ugly, and at this point my sister is holding her confirmation in only 10 days, so I needed to build a nicer terrace. And the first step in doing so is removing these 2 stumps. I know that a chainsaw isn't the best way to do it, but it was the only thing I had on hand. And if you're left thinking what a confirmation is, it's an old Danish tradition where you confirm that you want to be Christian, and you will from that day on be considered as an adult. But today it has mostly just become a day where young teens hold a big party for the families, and the families give them a lot of presents. Now that this stump is fully removed, I just need to remove the other one, which is easiest to do like this. Easy clap. Now I just need to clean up and remove some bushes and then wait for the wood to show up. The materials have officially arrived, so now I just need to place them down and do everything else. Okay, this next step may need a bit of explaining. So, of course, the terrace needs to be level, so I took the lace out and make sure that it wasn't level, but I didn't want it to be too high up, so I used this jig to see how much material I needed to take off and then traced it on with a pencil. I could then take the wood over here and then cut off the part that I didn't need. I then had to make sure that the wood was still in level, and I was now ready to screw it down, which is a pretty time-consuming job. You first have to drill a hole into the ground before you can screw it in with the big screw, and when you're doing that, it's important that you remember to break your wrist. And when you've done that, you're ready to drill another hole into the ground, and you also have to make sure to break your wrist again. And I kept doing this for the rest of the day and the whole day after, but I was then informed that I also have to go to my cousin's confirmation, and he lives in the other side of the country, so I lost 2 days out of my schedule. And I now only had 5 days left to finish the terrace before the party. And here you can kind of see what I have to do in order to make sure that it's level. And it then just came down to drilling a lot more holes and breaking a lot more arms. All the sticks has been laid out and I should probably go home, but On these angles, this top part sticks up and I therefore need to remove it, and I think it would look pretty cool in the dark. With only 4 days left, I could start to feel the pressure of not being done yet, but since the new terrace needed to be wider than the old terrace in order to hide these stones, I needed to expand it a bit, which was also a very time-consuming job, since the ground was full of roots and I needed to dig 10 of these holes, put in some gravel and make sure that the concrete base stones were also in level. And with only 2 days left, I was ready to put down the boards, which I've been looking forward to, since that's a lot more fun than using 80% of your time making sure that everything's in level. But I really wasn't sure whether I could make it in time, since this platform is over 80 square meters, or for those who use Freedom units, that's over 860 square feet. And now that the platform was finished, I just needed to cut off the edges, which is supposed to be a very easy job, but my family happened to be around, which sometimes make things a bit more challenging.
Nej, nuller. Nej.
Oh no, gone wrong!
Hør på det bedste. And finally, the platform was done. The confirmation went very well and my sister was happy. And since the terrace wasn't fully complete, I just told people to stay away from the edge, since that's a weak point. So naturally, everyone sat on the edge. Luckily, nothing broke, but I still needed to finish the terrace since we had more events coming up. First, I needed to make the staircase. This may look a bit overcomplicated and over-engineered, but I originally had a whole segment explaining why this was the easiest way to do it, but it just became too long, so you just have to take my word for it. Stairs done, I just needed to make the side panels, which was a kinda tedious job, but actually didn't take too long. And finally, the whole terrace was fully complete. I really think it makes the house look way better, and it also makes you want to use the garden even more. And after my brother did a bit of cleanup, the terrace and the garden were ready for use again. Lastly, I want to say thank you for watching along. If you like this build, please consider subscribing. I'm currently trying to reach 100 subscribers. And if you have any feedback at all, please leave a comment. Bye!